Harry's in big trouble right behind me in the Royal Courts of Justice. Now, the Prince is very likely to lose this legal action, and if so, he'll be on the hook for up to $10 million, which will be a devastating setback.
Lies being told about me and my family. There comes a point where, again, going back to the relationship between certain members of the family and the tabloid press.
Harry shocked after William refused his calls. There are few things in life more painful than reaching out to someone you love and hearing nothing back. Not an argument, not a refusal delivered face to face, just silence. The kind of silence that has a message in it, the kind that tells you more clearly than any words could exactly where you stand. Prince Harry knows that silence now. According to sources close to both brothers and confirmed through palace channels this week, Harry has made repeated attempts in recent weeks to reach Prince William. Phone calls, messages passed through intermediaries, requests for a conversation, not a reconciliation, not a grand gesture, simply a conversation between two brothers who have not spoken properly in longer than most people would find imaginable. William has not responded. Not a refusal delivered in person, not a message sent back through the same intermediaries explaining why the moment is not right. Simply nothing. A closed door with no handle on Harry's side. And when the palace was asked to comment on reports of these attempts, when journalists put the question directly to royal sources, the response that came back was not a denial, it was a confirmation. The palace confirmed that William is aware of Harry's attempts to make contact, and that at this time, no communication is being pursued from William's side. At this time. Those three words carrying everything that is unsaid. Not never, but not now, and not on Harry's terms, and not for any reason Harry has yet offered that William considers sufficient. For Harry, who has spent the past several weeks already absorbing blow after blow, the collapse of his court case against the Daily Mail, the rejection of his $59 million demand by King Charles, the discovery that his cousin Beatrice had shared his private plans with the king, this confirmation from the palace is another wound on top of wounds that have not yet healed. And today we are going to tell you the full story of why Harry has been trying to reach William, what he was hoping that conversation might achieve, and why William, a man who by all accounts still carries genuine love for his brother, has chosen, at least for now, to say nothing at all. We will take our time with this, because the relationship between these two brothers is one of the most significant and most heartbreaking stories of our time, and it deserves to be understood properly. So let's begin. To understand what Harry was hoping to achieve by reaching out to William, you have to understand the situation Harry is currently in. Because the calls did not come from a place of casual desire for family warmth. They came from a place of crisis. Harry's court case against the Daily Mail, the lawsuit he had described as the most important legal battle of his life, the fight he had promised would change British media forever, has collapsed. The key witness on whom his entire case was built admitted in open court that the evidence he had provided was fabricated. Not mistaken, not incomplete, fabricated. Created to fit a predetermined story in exchange for promises of money that never materialized. The judge is expected to rule against Harry. The financial consequences are severe. A potential liability of $30 million or more when you combine his own legal costs with what he will be ordered to pay the Daily Mail. A sum that exceeds what he has available in accessible funds. His father, King Charles, rejected Harry's demand that the palace cover those costs. rejected it publicly, coldly, and permanently, with language that made clear this was not a temporary position, but a final one. His cousin Beatrice, one of the last family members with whom Harry had maintained any meaningful private communication, handed a dossier of his private messages to the king. Messages that revealed a coordinated plan between Harry and Prince Andrew to pressure the palace through simultaneous legal and media attacks. And Meghan, in the days when Harry most needed visible solidarity, was in Los Angeles, conducting solo business meetings with wellness and lifestyle brands, building her own future with a quiet urgency that spoke louder than any statement her team issued. In the middle of all of that, surrounded by collapsing strategies and closed doors and the slow, awful realization that the position he has put himself in has very few exits, Harry reached for the one person who has known him longer than almost anyone else alive: his brother. Now, if you are watching this for the first time and you want to follow this story as it continues to develop, because there is considerably more still to come, please hit the subscribe button right now. We cover the royal family properly, at the pace these stories deserve, and we want to make sure you don't miss a single piece of what comes next. It takes just a moment, and it makes a real difference to us. What was Harry hoping William would do? That is the question at the center of this story, because understanding the answer tells you everything about where Harry is right now and what he believes is still possible. Sources close to Harry's circle suggest that the calls were not a request for money, not a plea for Charles to be softened toward him or for William to intercede on his behalf with the sovereign. Harry has had enough experience of the palace's current position to understand that those doors are firmly shut. What he was reaching for was something more fundamental, something that money cannot provide and legal strategies cannot manufacture. He wanted to know if his brother still saw him as his brother, not as a problem to be managed, not as a reputational liability to be contained, not as the Duke of Sussex, non-working royal, plaintiff in a collapsed lawsuit, author of a memoir that caused institutional pain, subject of a palace statement that called his choices morally reprehensible. Just as Harry, the boy he grew up with, the person who was there at the worst moment of both their lives, in the back of a car on August 31st, 1997, when a police officer told two young princes that their mother was not going to recover. Harry wanted to know if that person, the William who held his hand in those hours and who was the only other human being on earth who fully understood what that night felt like, was still reachable. William's silence suggests that at this moment, for reasons that William has not explained publicly and may not yet fully be able to explain even to himself, the answer is not one he is ready to give. Let's talk about William, because I think it is important, as it always is in this story, to understand him fairly, to resist the easy narrative in which one brother is simply wrong and the other is simply right. William is a man who carries an enormous amount. He is the future king of England. He is managing, on a daily basis, responsibilities that would test anyone. The operational weight of an institution that is still finding its footing after the loss of Queen Elizabeth. The ongoing public management of his father's health situation. The careful stewardship of his own family's place in the public eye. He is also a man who has been hurt, deeply and repeatedly, by things that Harry has done and said in the most public ways imaginable. The Oprah interview, the documentary, the memoir. Statements and revelations that were not just personally painful, but that caused real institutional damage that William has had to help repair. Each of those things required William to absorb pain and continue, to maintain his composure publicly while privately dealing with the reality of what his brother had chosen to share with the world. Sources who know William well describe him as a man who does not forget easily. Not in a vindictive sense. Those who know him dismiss the idea that he is holding grudges for the pleasure of it, but in the sense that trust, once damaged in the way Harry has damaged it, does not rebuild overnight. It rebuilds through sustained evidence of changed behavior over time, through demonstrated commitment to something other than personal grievance. And what William has, seen from Harry in recent months, has not provided that evidence. The court case against the Daily Mail was not, in William's view, an act of brave truth-seeking. It was, from where William sits, a deeply damaging exercise that kept the family's most painful private history in the public domain for months on end. That produced revelations about the family's internal communications, about events that were previously private, that William had not consented to and could not control. The $59 million demand sent to the palace was not, from William's perspective, the desperate move of a confused man. It was the latest in a series of choices Harry has made that prioritize his own position over the well-being of an institution that William is preparing to lead and that he believes in deeply. And the coordination with Andrew, the plan revealed by Beatrice's dossier, was, for William, something close to unforgivable. Not because of what it said about Harry's frustration with the family, but because it revealed a willingness to cause deliberate, calculated harm to the institution itself in order to force financial and political concessions. William will not respond to Harry's calls. Not yet. Not until he has some reason to believe that the conversation he is being invited into is genuinely different from all the previous ones. There is something profoundly sad about that, and something that resonates, I think, with many people who are watching this story. Because most of us have known, in our own lives, what it is to love someone and to be unable to reach them, or to be reached by someone we love and to find ourselves unable to respond, not from lack of love, but from the weight of everything that has come before. The space between Harry and William right now is full of that weight, and neither of them, it seems, yet knows how to move through it. Let's take a moment here, halfway through our story. If you are finding this as compelling as we do, and the relationship between these two brothers is one of the most human stories in public life right now, beneath all the legal and institutional complexity, please share this video with someone you think would want to see it. A friend, a family member, someone who follows the royal family and who deserves to have the story told properly. Sharing genuinely helps us reach more people, and it takes just a moment. Now let's talk about the palace's confirmation. Because the fact that the palace chose to confirm that William is aware of Harry's contact attempts, rather than staying silent or issuing a non-committal non-denial, is itself significant. Palace communications are extraordinarily carefully managed. Nothing comes from official royal sources by accident. Every word in every statement is considered. Every decision about what to confirm and what to leave unanswered reflects a deliberate strategic choice. The decision to confirm that Harry has been trying to reach William and that William is not currently pursuing communication in return sends a message. And the message is this: the palace is not pretending that Harry's attempts at contact are not happening. But it is also making clear, publicly and unmistakably, that those attempts are Harry's initiative and not William's. that whatever reconciliation Harry may be hoping for is not something that the heir to the throne is currently moving toward. Why confirm it at all? Why not simply say nothing? Several royal commentators have suggested that the confirmation serves a specific institutional purpose. It positions William as the party making a considered, adult choice, not the party who is unavailable or unaware, but the party who has weighed the situation and decided, for now, that engagement is not appropriate. It prevents the narrative from becoming one in which William is simply ignoring his brother out of indifference or cruelty. It says, he knows, he has thought about it, and this is his answer. That is a very different image from simply not picking up the phone. For Harry, the confirmation may have been almost as difficult as the silence itself, because it removed the last possibility that William simply had not received his messages, that the intermediaries had failed to pass them on, that there was some logistical explanation for the absence of response that was not, at its core, a choice. There is no logistical explanation. William knows. And William has chosen, at least for now, not to respond. What does Harry do with that? Those close to him say he is struggling with it in a way that the financial and legal crises, as severe as they are, do not fully capture. Because money problems, however large, are ultimately practical problems. They have potential solutions, however painful. Assets can be sold, debts can be negotiated. Financial situations, however dire, are not permanent states. But a brother who has closed his door, that is a different kind of problem. One that cannot be solved with a lawyer or a financial advisor or a PR strategy. One that can only be solved by the person who closed the door. And only when that person decides the time is right. For Harry, who has spent years making choices that he believed were moving him toward freedom and authenticity and a life that made sense to him, the current reality is one in which the cost of those choices is coming fully and finally into view. The court case has cost him credibility and money he cannot easily replace. The relationship with his father is operating at a distance of pure institutional formality. The relationship with his brother is operating at a distance of pure silence. And the woman he gave up everything for is in Los Angeles, focused on her own future. This is not a simple story of a bad man receiving deserved punishment. Harry is not a villain. He is a complicated human being who made a series of choices that were entirely understandable in the context of his grief, his experience of family dysfunction, and the very real pressures he faced as a member of one of the most scrutinized families in the world. But choices have consequences. And the consequences of Harry's choices have converged in the weeks around March 2026 with a completeness that is genuinely difficult to watch. What comes next is not entirely clear. The court verdict will come. The financial consequences will become concrete. Harry will have to decide how he manages a debt load that his current income cannot comfortably service. Meghan will continue her brand separation strategy. Whether that professional separation eventually produces a personal one remains something that those closest to both of them are not yet willing to predict openly. And William will continue to be silent until the day, if it comes, when something changes enough that the silence no longer feels like the right answer. That day may come. Those who know William insist that his love for his brother has not evaporated, that the silence is not a severing, but a boundary, that there is a difference in William's mind between choosing not to engage right now and choosing never to engage again. But right now is what Harry is living in. And right now, the phone is not being answered. The most powerful image of this entire period is not the courtroom. It is not the $59 million bill, or the King's statement, or Beatrice's dossier. It is Harry, somewhere in California, or in a London hotel corridor, picking up a phone, or composing a message, or asking someone he trusts to pass something along. And then waiting for a response that does not come. That is the reality that no legal strategy and no PR campaign and no television interview can solve. Because it is not a public problem, it is a private one, between two brothers who grew up sharing the most extraordinary and the most painful of childhoods, who held each other up when their mother died. Who walked behind her coffin together on a September morning in 1997 while the world watched and wept? Whatever has passed between them since, and a great deal has passed, that morning lives in both of them. And it is not nothing. It is, in fact, everything. The foundation beneath all the conflict and the hurt and the institutional complexity and the legal battles. William knows it. Harry knows it. The question is whether it is enough, whether the foundation holds, whether two men who were shaped by the same loss can find their way back to each other across the distance that the choices of the past several years have created. We don't know the answer to that yet. Nobody does. But we will be watching, and we will be here to tell you everything that happens next. Thank you so much for staying with us through this story today. We know it is not a simple one, and we are grateful for every minute of your time. If it moved you, and the story of these two brothers moves most people who follow it honestly, please leave us a comment below. Tell us what you think. Tell us whether you believe William will eventually pick up the phone. We read every comment, and your thoughts matter to us more than you know. And if you are not yet part of this community, please subscribe right now and turn on your notifications. We are here every day with the royal stories that deserve to be told properly, at the pace your intelligence and your attention deserve. Click subscribe. We will see you in the next one, and thank you for being here.